Alrighty then. I I wanted to talk about this for a second. So Forge Gang, I am still a hard man. Alright, so Ric Perry has backpedaled on Keleb. Ric Perry on his Instagram deleted every reference to that so-called Hebrew word that he claimed was represented a third gender or a type of non-gender, non-binary whatever. And this kind of reminded me a lot about the Bud Light boycott. So a few years ago, just a few years ago, Bud Light released this commercial that had a transgender TikTok star named Dylan Mulvaney. And he was the icon of the Bud Light commercial, and Budweiser had a lot of backlash. So Budweiser is the company, actually it's Anheuser-Busch had faced a major backlash over having this transgender individual represent their brand, their logo, in a commercial. And it was done purposefully for woke purposes, and there was a major backlash against it. And as a result, they took down the ad. They stopped the ad, and there was a bunch of articles, news articles a couple of years ago about it. Academic Agent did a stream called Putting Away the Woke, or it was titled Putting Away the Woke, where he talked about this very thing. And so basically, all of the major corporations, the major brands backpedaled, and they started moving away from these promotion of wokeness, promotion of concepts around how, well, everyone is included. You know, we're going to sell our stuff to everybody, regardless of their race, their gender, religion, ethnicity, or lack of religion. You know, everyone is welcome. Everybody, we're inclusive. Everyone is welcome. We sell our products to everybody and stuff. The company that runs Dungeons and Dragons did this, and then they backpedaled from it. Anheuser-Busch tried doing this with Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender TikToker. They received very heavily negative criticism for it. Saying like, why would you have this? Because I guess Budweiser is overwhelmingly represented by males or something. I guess it isn't very often that women or transgender people drink it. I'm sure they do, but just a lot of negative criticism for this. And the thing that Ric Perry has been doing with promoting this kind of religious revisionism, this kind of religious revisionist idea that the Bible was woke, that in the Old Testament, the people who wrote the books of the Old Testament and the New Testament also were woke. They had these inclusive ideas where men that dress up as women were included in the text of the Bible, that there was like transgender preachers, transgender bishops and deacons, in the early church, and they were welcomed, that there was transgender people in King David's court, that Moses knew of transgender people and stuff like this. This kind of stuff that Ric Perry was trying to push. Well, it appears that something definitely has happened, because I looked recently at Ric Perry's Instagram, and not only did they unfriend me on Instagram, where I can't see all of their articles, but very noticeably and also very subtly and quietly, Ric Perry has removed every thing in regards to the word Keleb, because I showed this article on an older stream, and it had that Hebrew word Keleb in it. And I can prove it because I showed this article on older streams, and I still have those streams on my channel where this word, this Hebrew word, was used in this article. And as you can clearly see, it is not there. Instead, it just says, so this transgender thing is new. So this right here proves that Ric Perry has backpeddled, and just like Dylan Mulvaney and Anheuser-Busch, Ric Perry has realized that Ric Perry has realized that they went a little bit too off the edge. They went too far. And I mentioned that I was going to take a snippet of them with that Hebrew word, and then I was going to give it to some people to show that I'm not going to mention any names, to show that he was wrong, she was wrong, they were wrong about it, and they removed it from their Instagram post. So just like how a couple of years ago, there is a major backlash, and it was all over the news at the time. This happened around June of 2023. And there was a backlash of this popular transgender TikToker doing a Budweiser ad. And there was a backlash. And just like that, Ric Perry has taken down all references and has privated all of their Instagram posts in regards to the reference of this word Keleb. So it shows, this perfectly demonstrates, and it does show, because I can go to my older streams and I can show that he had that word, or they, she, he, they had that word in the Instagram post. And they have removed it. They have removed any reference to that word, to that Hebrew word, and they have quietly and very subtly tried to cover up and backpedal away, just like how Anheuser-Busch in 2023 pedaled and backtracked away. So, is Ric Perry putting away the woke, as academic agents said? I believe the answer is yes. In the 2010s, like in the mid-2010s, this was all the rage. This idea of inclusivity and acceptance was all the rage. These woke ideas were new. They were experimental and they were grand, and most people were very welcoming to these ideas. Now, it went so far, and it has become so incredibly toxic and illiberal and uninclusive that even gays are sick of this. Like, even gays are actually sick. Women are sick of this. and they're tired of this stuff. Most people now are tired of this. Ric Perry has found out the reality of this, and he removed Keleb out of his Instagram posts because of some of the things that I said on my YouTube channel. And this is very obvious. It's very obvious that this is a retreat on Ric Perry's part, and it just goes to show that I've been proven right. So I'm done now. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care. This just proves that nobody is buying into this anymore. And Ric Perry is finding this out very quickly.